Hello, my name is Ishmael Ni Amate, and if we've not met, on this channel, I give you all the detailed information that you need to apply for scholarships abroad. Today, we'll be looking at the scholarship opportunities available for you in Australia. So without much ado, let's go listen to this conference presentation by Dr. Bonsu.
Dr. Nana Osei Mensah Bonsu. Doc, you're welcome, and please, over to you.
Thank you. I hope everyone can hear me. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, Doc. We can hear you.
Thank you. So I'll just get started as I've been introduced already. So myself, I've enjoyed a lot of scholarship opportunities in Ghana. I studied in the Erasmus Mundus program in Spain, Portugal, and the UK. And now I've just completed a PhD last November. And so I want to share my perspective regarding Australia in terms of scholarship opportunities and what you can do. So currently, the current data in Australia is that there are about 550,000 international students studying here. And here in Australia, a lot of the international students studying here contribute immensely to the economy of this country. So I've provided throughout my presentation, these are to provide specific information on the subjects I'm talking about. So for instance, as you can see, Study Australia is a major resource for people who want to study in Australia. And since I only have about 20 minutes, I am unable to go through everything. So I am giving you these so that you can scan with your phone. Just open your camera on your phone, scan, and then go to that resource and look at the information. It will be very helpful if you do. Okay, so how do you get a scholarship to Australia? And after you get a scholarship, how is living and working in Australia like? These are basically the things I am going to summarize through my presentations. Okay, so first I'll talk about the types of scholarships we have in Australia. We have, I've put them into 4 big categories. We have the Australia Awards. Australia Awards are basically for funded by the Australian government. It is a fully sponsored scholarship. So it takes care of your medicals, your transportation from wherever you are in the world to Australia, your relocation allowance, and that's some big money in there. A colleague completed the same program last year. And it's an interesting one, but very competitive. If you scan the QR code there, it will take you to the Australian Awards website where it talks about the information you need. They are country specific. So currently, Ghana is shortlisted for master's programs. There used to be the opportunity to do a PhD program through that, but it was suspended some time ago. And so look at that website, and wherever you are joining us from, try to locate your country and find the country's specific information. because it is not a one-fits-all approach when it comes to Australian government awards. And then we have what we call the Destination Australia program, which basically relates to specific areas in the Australian economy of interest. So targeted at people who want to study in specific industries at specific places in Australia. So again, it is country specific and meets individual needs. So depending on your interest, also scan that QR code, which I hope you are doing now, and then you would see the specific information you need for such awards. And then we have the Australian Government Research Training Program. So those interested in master's degree by research and PhD, those are the scholarships for you. Fully sponsored, just like the Australian awards. And the last category is provider scholarship. So this provider scholarship will refers to scholarships hosted by specific institutions, that is the educational institutions in Australia. And those are the scholarships most of you might be looking for. A lot of universities, vocational training centers offer partial and full scholarships to international students. And they are very competitive, I must say. So your approach to applying for scholarship in Australia means that you should first of all have it in mind that it is a very competitive process, and if you don't do things right, as I will show you in my presentation, you are less likely to get any attention at all. So what's the process for applying for these scholarships? These are my three main recommendations when applying for scholarships. First, you research. The research will include information about the institution, the types of scholarship available for international students, and institution, go to the international students section and evaluate the information provided. Once you have done that research, then you can check whether you are eligible or not. It is basically a waste of your time applying for scholarships you are not eligible for. And this is a mistake a lot of people make. You see, most of these institutions receive the applications through a computerized system. And this system will do initial shortlisting. So it will scan all applications received and then select those that have certain keywords. And so if the scholarship is for home-based students, so like for Australians, and you are a Ghanaian who lives in Ghana, you are not a permanent resident of Australia, or you live anywhere else in the world, and you apply for such local scholarships, you will not even pass the screening stage. So that is one thing you should keep in mind, because you are not eligible to apply for such scholarships. Once you have done that, once you've done the research, satisfied that you are eligible to apply, then you complete the online application form. In Australia, most applications online. And normally, when you submit your application, it is for a program. It is also an application for a scholarship. And so you should be careful when applying to select whether you want to be considered for a scholarship or not. And once you've submitted your application, please, during your research, look at the timelines. If there is a timeline to receive application and that timeline has not elapsed, don't go sending, asking for where the application process has gotten to. Respect the timelines. They are very important, and you might not think that it might affect you in getting a scholarship. It is a competition, and if you're unable to follow simple guidelines, say the application period is from January to February, and then you submit your application in January, and by the second week of February, you have begun sending spams, that is how they will term it, asking for whether they have completed the screening or not. You can't follow instructions. That might affect you. So be very careful when you research and you apply for scholarships out here. The scholarships, most international students here in Australia, especially those from Africa, are either doing a master's degree by coursework or master's degree by research or a PhD. There are others here doing a bachelor's degree, but most of them are and it's very possible. I know Ghanaians here doing that, but it is very expensive if you decide to work and fund your own education. So maybe my presentation is more biased towards getting full scholarships through masters by research or PhD. However, if I get questioned on the other scholarships that are partial scholarships, for instance, you can get about 15 to 50% tuition offset, but the amount you pay is still an expensive one. Now, if you're applying for MPhil or a PhD, which are termed higher degree by research in Australia, there are two categories. One, where you find an advertised project. So a center has a project, the university has a project, a specific principal investigator has a project, it is advertised. And so this time you apply to the project. First, you check if you're eligible for that project. Please, if you are not eligible based on the set criteria, please make sure that you are able to transition smoothly if given the chance. Otherwise, just find a project that you are very capable of working on, because in Australia, if you're doing a higher degree by research, unlike some places in the UK or US, there are no taught components or no taught courses. It is to be able to undertake these projects. Nobody is going to teach you what to do. You have to be competent to undertake the project you have applied for. So if you're eligible, you send an expression of interest to a supervisor. and then you get a feedback for advertised project. It's either a yes or no. If it is a yes, you are likely to get an interview, which you must prepare for. And if you have publications, peer-reviewed publications in good journals, not predatory journals, then you are good to go. A friend who had studied for a master's degree in Ghana published a very interesting project and got an admission to a school in Australia. And they were trying to find this publication listed on his CV. And this publication did not exist, even though it had been cited over 30 times in Google Scholar. And the reason was that he had published this back in 2015, but in a predatory journal, which has since been taken off. So be careful when you submit something as a peer-reviewed publication. Make sure it is from a credible journal. And then there are self-developed projects. So you research the school, like I indicated, and then you have an interest to work with a specific supervisor, so that you develop a project and you want to pitch it to this person to take you on. So for these provider scholarships available at all institutions in Australia, if you can find a prospective supervisor, about 70% assurance of getting a fully funded scholarship. So you would send what is called a speculative email where you introduce yourself and then sell the idea of your project. This should be concise, and then you might get a feedback or not, or no response at all. So a supervisor can say, yes, it's interesting, but I don't have the capacity to pick more PhD students. In that case, you can ask if they can refer you, or they can say, no, I don't think your background fits this project. In most cases, you will get no response, and that might be to something that I will show you in a jiffy. If you're successful and get a feedback, you might get an interview. If you have publications, that helps. Now, this is an example. This is an email that was sent to me. So you see the date is in 2023, 4th of April. And this is a person who wants to do a PhD. Hello, dear. Now, I'll just save you. You see the things that I've highlighted? As soon as I saw this email, I just ignored it because I don't want to waste my time on non-serious students. Hello, dear. First of all, I am not your dear. And if anybody told you that you can be informal, that is a big non-truth. You should address people formally when you don't know them and have no relationship with them at all. So, hello, dear. It's a pleasure for me to know about you as an expert of forensic science, not structured properly. I have interest to get PhD in forensic science under your supervision on the behalf of scholarship. This person means I have done Bachelor of Science in Zoology. Dear, then he mentions name. If you want to know more about me, I will share it with you. Thank you. Regard. Now, do you see the problem with that? Not only is this structured poorly, they are using contractions and very bad grammar. And how can you apply for a position on the behalf of a scholarship? No. So I just want to use this to emphasize that when you send speculative emails to potential supervisors, make sure that you've got every detail right. And This is what I mean when I say make sure you get every detail right. So you can have dear professor, whatever it is, their title is, and their surname. So, dear Dr. Johnson, my name is, state your name and state where you come from. I have completed, this is a template that I have created, so it helps you out. I have completed, so here you state your distinctions, your classes that are notable and relevant to the project you want to pitch. And then you say that you wish to begin a PhD in that institution. You want to work under their supervision. Give a 100-word summary of your proposed project and describe your training, experience, expertise that makes you fit, and also any soft skills that you've got that will help you out. And then once you have done that, you attach any information that is useful, even if it is a proposal you've got, and that can help you a lot. Then you have motivation letter. If you're applying for Masters by Research, with the exception of specific scholarships like the Australian Awards, you would not be required to submit a motivation letter or a statement of purpose. And if you scan this QR code provided, my friend, in a lot of information, a lot of resources to help you. You can read about everything you need to be successful in applying for a scholarship from that page. But the statement of purpose is basically about your career and academic goals and why you want to pursue a chosen program. If you are required to write that, then it will have a weighting between 15 to 25%. This is why you have to put in effort to write. As stated, it's not required for higher degree by research. There are no strict rules, and most institutions will tell you how to do it, but I have a format for you. And you can find this specifically if you go to that QR code I showed. You should have 9 paragraphs. The first paragraph basically introduces you and the program and why you have an interest. The second paragraph should be why you want to apply for that program. The third should tell you why the program is set up and the chosen institution fits your career goals and future prospects. And then your next paragraph should tell whoever is reviewing it how prepared you are to be able to undertake such a project. And then you provide a very good conclusion that summarizes the paragraphs above to communicate that you are the best candidate for that. You need recommendation letters. It is a way of assessing that, in fact, you have a good working relationship with people at your former workplace or with your supervisors, lecturers, and so on and so forth. So mind you, if you say that you have a good human relationship, you to get a recommendation letter from your supervisor or they have declined to do that, that contradicts the statement you have in your motivation letter. So these are things that you would find in your Australian applications. You would mostly supply your own emails, mostly institutional emails in your online application platform. And then the request is sent directly to your chosen person to write the recommendation. You are notified once a recommendation is provided. Note that you should seek consent before supplying an email of a potential referee. A lot of students do that and do not inform people, and they write back to the institution saying that I decline to give a recommendation because I have no idea that this person has selected me. So only select persons familiar with your credentials. Do not list your family members as referees, and don't be tempted to write your own reference and submit it, because it can be easily detected. If you have written a motivation letter, you have a specific writing style that can be easily detected and matched against a reference letter if written for yourself. So to summarize, if you want to increase your chance, you should have a good academic record, get good recommendation letters, write concise personal statements or research proposal, and this fourth aspect, relevant achievements. If you have any publications, if you have had any leadership role in any capacity in the church, wherever it is, it can count towards the difference between you and other similarly competent people. Now, after you graduate from Australia universities, within the first 6 months, there are about almost 73% of international students graduating from here get jobs in the first 6 months of graduation. And if you did a PhD or master's by research, it approaches 87%. There are pathways to immigration. You can get a graduate visa, and within a year, if you meet certain criteria, get a permanent residency. And after a year of that, you can get a citizenship. The salaries are good compared to other places, and that depends on the industry and your experience. So why do you want to study? Why should you study in Australia? It has a high quality education. There are diverse people in Australia. See, I started my PhD in 2019 and rose to become the first ever African who, as a board member of a sort, or a member of the University of Adelaide Council. This is the first ever since 1874. An African has risen to that position. See, if in my own country, Ghana, I would still not be eligible to contest for a council position in a university. So that tells you about the diversity and how they respect you if you are competent enough in what you do. It is also a safe environment with low crime rate. There are vast majority of international students who get jobs, and you can work during your study or after study. And most importantly, Australia is a very beautiful country with beautiful people, and you will love being here. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nana Osei-Bonsu. I mean, that was a detailed presentation, and thank you for touching certain areas that I believe most of our participants had, let's say, certain issues. I mean, you talked about you have to research about the school and then know the requirements if you are eligible for the criteria. And then also you've been able to touch on the steps involved in contacting potential supervisors. And then you've given us examples of how the content and very grateful, and then God richly bless you. And I believe that our participants have taken notice, especially those who want to pursue higher education in Australia. There are a few questions, but before we go into the question, let me just read few ones. So there is a question on whether to publish a journal in academia. Let me see, just a quick one. So, okay, so someone is asking that I have would you consider it as a credible place to publish that research?
So academia.edu is a repository. It's just like keeping your research on ResearchGate. So normally you could submit that as a non-peer reviewed research, and they might take it into consideration. But remember that what counts is peer review publication. So you should have gone through a credible journal. Academia.edu is not a journal. It is just a repository for researchers to keep their records.
Okay. Thank you very much. And then, Doc, someone is also asking that, I mean, I've been there before and I've had people coming to me and then saying same thing over and over. Someone wants to know that we have various types of scholarship. At what point do you apply for these available scholarships? Do you have to secure admission first, or the scholarship application is tied to the admission process? Can you please touch on that for us?
Yes, so like I indicated, most of the scholarships are tied to the application process. This is why it is important to do the research. A scholarship like the Australian Awards is not necessarily tied to the application, the admission process. And this is why I provided the link to scan and look at the criteria. For those scholarships, you are required to apply through the Australian mission in your country. And once you do that, they might ask you to submit an application, or they would submit the application on your behalf. So this is why it is important to check the fine details before you submit an application. But for a PhD or master's by research, there are timelines to get application through that you'll be shortlisted straight away or considered for a scholarship. If you submit your application before or after that timeline, you might not be considered for a specific scholarship, and they might either not consider you again or move your application to the next available round of scholarships.
Thank you very much, Doc. I mean, in the comments or the questions session, those asking that they want to find out the academic calendar of the Australian Masters program. I mean, the time that it begins. Doc made mention of doing thorough research, and I believe that when you're able to do a thorough research regarding the school, some of this information will just be exposed to you. So those asking when is going to commence, kindly, do your research concerning the school that you want to attend.
Welcome back. I believe this session was informative and all your concerns were addressed. However, if you have any questions or concerns that were not touched on, feel free to drop it in the comment section and we'll be more than glad to respond to them. Thank you for watching once again, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you never lose out on our videos. Have a lovely day.